So this workshop, leadership, becoming a person of influence, it's a really, really good workshop. We definitely gear it towards seniors because you will be graduating. Your leaders, you're going to be leading the way as you enter your different communities, whether it's employment, whether it's your own homes, whether you guys are going to be taking advantage of volunteer opportunities in your community. There's so much you can do with leadership. So we're going to get started. And if you have any questions, you can unmute yourself. I don't mind you stopping me during the presentation and unmute yourselves. If not, you can leave it towards the end. So let me share my screen. I hope everyone can see this. Okay. All right, so let's get started. All right, so again, this workshop is titled Leadership, Becoming a Person of Influence. One of the gurus when it comes to leadership is one of my favorites, and I'll show his quote. He will probably sound familiar to you. If not, you definitely want to start looking at his books and all the writings that he's done on leadership. So, and again, one of my favorite quotes is leaders are not created. Leaders are created, they're not born. So people are not born with leadership qualities. It's something that they learn to become leaders. So here we go. So a question I posted, again, if you want to unmute yourselves and add, it's fine. What is a leader? So a leader, a person who takes leadership is the action of leading a group of people or an organization, the state or position of being a leader, the leaders of an organization, a country, etc. Leadership involves establishing a clear vision, sharing that vision with others so that they will follow willingly, providing the information, knowledge, and methods to realize that vision, and coordinating and balancing the conflicting interests of all members and stakeholders. So again, being a good leader. Can you mute yourselves? Okay, thank you. Being a great leader involves that you are going to have to balance, the conflicting interests or opinions of all the members or the stakeholders within the organization that you're working with. A good leader doesn't ignore that. A good leader works with that. So the question is, how do I become a leader? So determine who you are as a person, right? Are you an introvert? Are you an extrovert? Are you a person that likes to work, in front of the crowd, or you're a person that likes to work behind the scenes? So determine what kind of person you are. Establish your character. Determine the characteristics that you need to adjust. Like if you don't like speaking in front of people, then you need to work on public speaking, because guarantee at some point you will be asked to speak in front of a crowd, whether it's a small crowd, of a few people to 1,000 people. You're going to have to learn some really good public speaking skills. That's just an example. Decide on a vision for your life and write it down. What is your vision for your life? Are you planning on getting, a master's degree? Are you planning on having your own business? Are you planning on working in a philanthropic type of, environment? Are you planning on doing work in other countries? So it's going to take you worldwide. Like, what kind of vision do you have for your life? Identify a leader that you resonate with and follow their legacy or journey. That's a really good place to start. So identify someone that you can identify as a person that you respect, that's going in the same direction you want to go. Identify a mentor that you respect and can receive from for accountability. So this is a person that's tangible. So you can't say like Oprah Winfrey is my mentor. How likely are you to meet with Oprah? So it has to be a person that you trust, a person that you respect, and a person that you receive from. So for example, when I work with my mentees, if I say to them, there's one thing you really have to work on, and is your timing. You're usually late, for appointments, and don't think anything of it, and that's something you have to work on, because that, could be considered disrespectful. A person may think that you don't care about that situation, and they may want to cut you off, because then you become someone who's not reliable. You can't tell that mentor, you know what, I got things going on. How you going to tell me something like that? You can't receive from that mentor. Then you can't have that person as a mentor. You have to be willing to take constructive criticism, because that mentor is there to help you grow as a person. So you have to have a mentor that you respect, that you can receive from, that's going to hold you accountable. And then write down your goals, the goals that you want to achieve, and share with your mentor. You can start off with short-term goals, like, okay, I want to finish my degree by May, and I want to apply for the graduate program by the end of this year. Those are short-term goals. And your mentor will help keep you accountable. Okay, does it require a graduate exam? When are you taking the exam? What is the score that you need to get? If you don't get that score, when are you retaking the exam? That you find out when it's going to be offered. And if you get into this graduate program, if you don't, what is your plan B? So a mentor is going to have these conversations with you. So you want to share your goals with that mentor. So, quotes to live by. If your actions require others to become more, you are a leader. So a leader is not something you go to college for. It's not something you get a degree on. A leader is who you are, how you carry yourself. It's all about your character, your integrity, who you are as a person. That's what makes a leader. That's why sometimes you have people who may not be famous, but have really good leadership qualities. So as long as you're making a difference in someone's life and moving people to become better for themselves, then you are definitely a leader. All right, and here we go. So this is the guru that I mentioned in the beginning, John Maxwell. He is my favorite leadership philosopher, has many books. If you have not heard of John Maxwell, please Google him after our presentation. And even if you buy one of his books, you're going to be changed. So he believes that good people skills differentiate the best leaders. He is clear about his leadership philosophy, which is one life influencing another. This is the heart of leadership. One person casting vision, one person forging legacy, so that their influence incites the same passion in those they seek to lead. So this is very robust. This is something you could sit down and journal, right? And I would encourage you, please take pictures of the screen too, if you would like. Journal, what does this quote mean to you? How does it apply to you? Are you a leadership in this essence? And if you're not, what do you need to do to change? We can all think of people who have been placed in positions of leadership who should not have been there, or who hurt people, as opposed to forging those leadership influences. So this is what he's talking about. So let's get into it. So John Maxwell developed 5 levels of leadership. So starting from the bottom, the first one is position, which is the level of right. So people follow because they have to. So I follow my boss because I have to. Now, the good thing and fortunate for me is that I have a great director who continues to influence me to keep moving forward, go back to grad school, get my doctorate and things like that. So she's in a position of authority over me. So I follow her because I have to. But I also follow her because she's a great mentor. So you have positional leadership. You are the boss. You don't ever want people to follow you because you're the boss, as opposed to they follow you because they think you're a great leader. That's very different. And in this sense, in position, people don't have a choice. They have to follow you whether they want to or not. Number 2, the second level of leadership is permission, the level of relationships. People follow because they want to follow you. They believe in you. They trust you. They don't have to, but they want to follow you. So these are people who will follow you beyond your stated authority. This level allows work to be fun. So, like John Maxwell, I follow John Maxwell. I love when he posts different things because he is a person that I want to emulate, his leadership qualities and so forth. Production, that's the third level, the level of results. People follow because of what you have done for the organization, the accomplishments. So this is where success is sensed by most people. They like you and what you're doing. Problems are fixed with very little effort because of momentum. So these are people that produce results, right? And so because they produce results, a lot of people tend to follow them. So as we're talking about these 5 levels, think of in each one, identify somebody in position, somebody in permission, and then now somebody in production. Who do you know that you regard as having leadership qualities that makes, things happen? It could be someone you don't have relationship with, but you follow, but it's someone who you see produces results. And then number 4 is people development, the level of reproduction. So these are people follow because of what you have done for them, what's in it for them. So it's not a negative thing. Okay, so it's not somebody being selfish. This is where long range growth occurs. Your commitment to developing leaders will ensure ongoing growth to the organization and to people. You do whatever you can to achieve and stay on this level. So we should all be in that level 4 of people development. So people follow me because of what I can do for them. So it's not like they're trying to use me is, wow, I know that, you've done this before for other people. I need this from you. I need this accountability, or I need to be part of your volunteer effort so that I can grow as a leader just the same way that you have grown. So it's what I can do for them. And then the last level he has here is personhood, the level of respect. So people follow because of who you are and what you represent, your values. So the note is this step is reserved for leaders who have spent years growing people and organizations. Just a few make it to this level. Those who do are bigger than life. So, there are lots of people that you can think of. I immediately think of Jobs, right? What he did, with Microsoft. He was a person that was larger than life, right? And even the person who, Stephen Jobs, the person who just took over for him after he passed, they've often said in interviews that he will never fill his shoes because, he had such a respect in that level that he will never be able to do what Stephen Jobs did. So that's an example of personhood, a person who was so highly respected by his colleagues and peers and people who didn't even know him. Okay. Then John Maxwell's top 9 leadership qualities. So as I'm reading them, think about where you fit. Are you a person of integrity? Are you a person that has character? Are you a person that's honest? Are you a person that has servant leadership? Like, do you serve, or are you looking for every opportunity to get paid for something? So if your community has some kind of volunteer opportunity, are you the first one to sign up? When you get there, hey, what can I do? Can I lead a group? Can I do this? Can I do that? Do you have a servant's mentality? Are you a person that has good teamwork? Or are you the kind of person that likes to work on their own, or likes to not be a team player, but wants to take control? So you want to be a team player. Are you a person that's a visionary? Can you envision something to the end? Do you have compassion for people? What if you're working in a team and someone is a slacker, or someone just wants to be there and not help? Can you have compassion to find out why that person is the way they are and help them grow as a person, as opposed to turning your back and say, you know what, I can't deal with that person. That's not compassion. Collaboration. Can you go into an organization and collaborate with people that may not even be so nice, but to make something happen, to reach a specific goal? Can you collaborate with different people of color? Can you collaborate with, different communities, LGBTQ plus, or other people that may not have the same values that you do, but you all need to collaborate to reach a goal? Can you do that? And then synthesis. So are you a person that has synthesis? Can you actually do that? So again, these are the 9 top leadership qualities that John Maxwell says that a good leader must possess. And then people who are leaders are successful. So what does successful mean? Think about it. What does success mean to you? Is it a person who is a millionaire? Is it a person who has accomplished goals? What does success mean to you? What if a person fails at something? Does that mean that they were not successful? Of course not, because they at least tried. And even in our failures, we can see and grow from it. So you're not going to be successful at everything that you do, but there's lessons in everything. So if you weren't successful in something specifically, what did you learn from that? Maybe you need to work on time management. Maybe you're not a math person and this just required so much math, and that's an area you need to grow in. So there's different things that can happen when a person fails at something, but there's lessons to be learned. So it's not a complete failure. There's still successes and failures. All right, so then the last part of John Maxwell that I want to present today are the 7 habits of successful people. 7 habits of successful people. So John Maxwell says that 1, make a commitment to grow every day. So people that are successful do this every day. So no, not physical growth, but expanding your knowledge and learning something new. Either you're growing, someone is unmuted. Either you're growing or you're dying. Listen to podcasts, right, is a hint. So do you listen to podcasts? Someone that you follow that's a good leader, and that's one of the things you do. Read scripture, read a motivational article, just learn to become better at something every day. So do you have a scripture that you go to every day to help start off your day? Do you have a quote? Sometimes you may write a quote on your bathroom mirror or something like that that helps get your day started. Do you have it on your phone? There's different things you can do that you do every day so that you grow every day. Value, number 2, value the process more than the events. So crossing the finish line is great, but what about the journey it took to get there? Be grateful for the process because it's part of your life. You grew during the process. You learned something through the process. Be mindful of what you learned on the way to that glorious finish line is a key point with the 7 habits of successful people. So again, it's not just about, oh, I did it, got to the finish line, just like college, right? You all getting ready to graduate in May, or some of you in the summer, even one more semester. But what was the journey like? What did you learn the whole time that you have been at Rutgers prior to your graduation date? How resilient did you have to be? What were some of the hurdles that you were able to overcome? Because that shows your strength. What didn't you do well? Which you may have to take a look at and say, okay, I could have done better with this. So different things. So again, value the process. Number 3, don't wait for inspiration. You take action. Waiting for something to inspire you? No, you might be waiting forever. Why not just do what it takes to complete that book you always wanted to write? Take action, and you might be surprised the inspiration will come. So a hint is you create your own inspiration. So you can't wait for someone to inspire you. You have to inspire yourself. And think about that everybody has a story to tell. So part of your leadership is not just going to work, right? That's just part of your life. That's just part of what you do. That's how you sustain yourself financially. But that's not who you are as a leader. That's just part of it. So what is it that inspires you? And again, if you don't have like a go-to thing, create it. Maybe you should start a blog. Maybe you get on Instagram Live every day and encourage people, or you go on Facebook and write, different affirmations. My husband and I have a small group, a marriage small group, and I have a Facebook page. And sometimes we write posts about marriages on there just to help inspire other marriages. So, it's do something that inspires you or inspires others. Number 4, be willing to sacrifice for opportunity. Sacrifice has a bad rep, right? We typically equate it with giving something up. In reality, it's about making something sacred, right? Think of what you really want: more quality time with kids, better health. Think of sacrifice not as giving something up, but as making the time for what you value, what you see as important. That is how you sacrifice. It's not giving something up, it's making time for something. Look at it, as it's not a glass half full, but a glass half empty. So it's a glass half full that you want to focus on, right? Because when you're sacrificing, it's not giving up something, it's making time for something. So that will always help you. Number 5, dream big. What are you risking if you don't dream big? The possibility of the dream becoming a reality. Successful people look at the risk of what will happen if they don't take action towards their dream. So write your own dreams. Think beyond what you believe you're capable of. You might be surprised what you can achieve. So I always tell people all the time, listen, life is a 50-50 chance. If you go ahead and go for it, you have a 50% chance of being successful and a 50% chance of not being successful. But you still got a 50% chance. Now, if you don't go for it, you got a 100% chance of failure because you didn't go for it. So 50% is still a good deal. So dream big, definitely go for it. What do you have to lose? And number 6, plan your priorities. The act of writing down your dreams and goals makes them more real and actionable. Think of the critical daily tasks it will take to achieve what you want. Practicing those daily tasks and marking them off will help you to achieve what you want. So definitely, take a journal and write things down. Date it, so when you want to graduate by May, you should have the date on there. So you check off that date. You're going to grad school. When are you taking the exam? write the date down, check off that date, so different things like that. Plan your priorities, because when you write something down, it's more likely to stay on your mind for you to accomplish. Number 7, don't give up. While it's true that the journey to the finish line will bring you great reward, why quit before you actually get there? Even though there will be times where the end seems literally impossible, hang in there. The last thing you want is regret. So put your head, down, surround yourself with people who support you and achieve what you set out to in the first place. Okay? You want to make sure that you focus. You want to make sure that, no matter how hard it gets. So maybe along the way, you might have to grab a friend and say, listen, this is getting really, really big, and I think I should, quit. No, always have someone who's going to hold you accountable to reach a specific goal. And think about it this way. Look how far you have come. How many of you wanted to give up before you got to this graduation that you're getting ready to have? So think about it. You don't ever want to woulda, shoulda, coulda. You never want to get to the point where you're like, what if I had, stuck it out? What if I had graduated? What if, I had applied for that job? What if, a lot of people say I played the lottery. No, that's not what we're talking about. But, think about any journey that you plan on taking, stick it out to the end and tell yourself, you will not quit. I can do all things. I'm going to do this, even if it doesn't turn out the way you want it to turn out, you didn't quit. And at the end of every goal that you accomplish, you always want to go back and reflect. How did it go? Always journal that. How did it go for me? Where were the hardest times? What was going on in my life at that time? Was it home? That in the next journey that I take, do I need to spend more time? And maybe I need to get a sitter, right? And work on this on Saturday mornings and be by myself. Maybe I need to go to the library and work on this. Maybe I need to, research this goal a little more before I actually, jump in. What is it that you need to do about your next goals? So keep doing that. Don't quit whatever you do. So a little bit of homework for you guys is what kind of leader you are. Ask yourself that question. What kind of leader am I? So I urge you and encourage you, you can take a picture of the screen, do a self-inventory about your leadership qualities and skills. Where do you need to grow? What skills do you not have? What skills do you have? And that would be great. Maybe you need to enhance them. Maybe you're fine. Self-reflection. How have you been as a leader? Have you been a leader? You may be surprised how many areas you have actually been a leader in and didn't even realize it. You want to research leaders in the area that you want to grow in. So if it's Oprah, Steve Jobs, or Mother Teresa, or, Michelle Obama, Oprah, different people, Michael Jordan, his business skills, think about all these great people who have been successful, and how did they do it? A lot of them have books out. A lot of them you can read about their stories, research, and see how they did it. Study. We never arrive. Let me say that again. We never arrive. We're always striving to become greater. We never become great. We just strive to become greater. Remember that. Because once you feel that you have arrived, you stop learning and you stop researching and you stop studying. So always look at it as I'm always striving to grow. I've never arrived. And then determine what areas of growth you still need to grow in, and maybe identify that with a mentor that you would like to choose and say, hey, and mentorship has a beginning and an end. And you can have different mentors for different things in your life. Like when I was going through the graduate program, I had a mentor because she was at the position that I wanted to get to. So I would turn in my papers to her. I would have her read my papers. She would give me really good constructive criticism. And then once I finished that and our time had ended. So when you get someone to mentor you, the first question is going to be, why do you need that person as a mentor? What is the thing you want that person to mentor you on? how long is the mentorship journey going to last? So you want to be able to have those conversations with a person that you choose as a mentor. Okay. Any questions? Let me stop sharing. Any questions on that? You can unmute yourselves if you have any questions. If you want me to go back to the PowerPoint for a specific slide, I will do that as well. Any questions? None? Well, I hope that it was a good presentation and you don't have any questions.
Quick question. I'm sorry. Is this presentation going to be, I know you said you're recording it, but can you like have access to just the presentation too for like download?
Yes, what I will do is I will send it both to, I'll send it to Ms. Ferguson. She's the one that posts the recording on the EOF YouTube page. And I will send her the PowerPoint so she can then post it on Canvas as well. Does that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you.
Great. Okay. Any other questions? All right. So what I'm also going to do is I gave you guys on the PowerPoint a little bit of a homework, but for attendance today, it's right here. I need you to email me your name, your RUID number, and one leadership quality that you saw on the presentation that you find you either have or you need to work on. One, like your number one leadership quality.
Miss Waters,
Yes.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Could you go back to where the leadership qualities are? So I can see which one.
All right. Which one? All right. Stop sharing. All right. There's. All right. Are the levels you were talking about? Or after this?
And after that.
The 9 leadership qualities. And then the 7 habits of successful people.
I think the qualities.
There it goes.
Okay, so we pick one of these that we think that we have, or that, does it only have to be these, or is,
No, it doesn't have to be these. These are just his. So just, just give me one. And I usually share that with your counselors so that, they know that you attended this presentation, but also maybe a discussion point for you guys. Because all the counselors get the presentation, so they know what we talked about. So if you have something different outside of this, absolutely.
Okay, sounds good. I took a picture of that. Thank you.
You're welcome. So I put it in the chat. So attendance, again, your name, your RUID, and the one leadership quality, at least one, because I'm sure you could have more than one, right? We all have more than one. One leadership quality that you have. My email is there, cfelice@camden.rutgers.edu. And if you could please do it by 5 p.m. today, that would be great so that I can create the report tonight and send it to your counselors. So, unless you have any questions, that's it for the workshop today. I really, really thank you for participating, and I will see you guys at the next one.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
You're welcome.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Miss Waters.
Yes.
Hi, darling.